So, what happened to Cyberpunk? Seriously, Cyberpunk came out in December of 2020, and, well, it was a disaster. For those of you who are unaware, Cyberpunk is a video game that released in December of 2020, December 10th to be specific, and, let's just say the game didn't work, at all. Now, this is a game that has been hyped up for years. They teased it with a little CGI trailer all the way back in 2013. And they said, the game will come when it's ready. And that was the biggest lie of all the marketing. See, we didn't hear anything about the game for 5 more years until 2018 at E3. They revealed Cyberpunk and it broke the internet. And people were going crazy over it. See, you can put a lot of the blame on CDProjectRed, and rightfully so. But you can also put part of the blame on the people for why it failed so much, because people were overhyping this game. People thought that this game was going to change gaming forever, and that, it was going to reinvent first-person shooters and all that. And to be honest, it's just another game. It's a good game, but it's just another game. It's not going to change or revolutionize anything. And it didn't, and that's just a lot of the fans' fault, to be honest with you. Anyways, when December 10th, 2020 rolled around, they released the game because fans were getting really angry because they had already delayed the game 3 times from its original, I think, April 2019 release date. So it was delayed quite a bit. And so they finally released it, but it wasn't finished. It was broken. The game didn't work, and everybody hated it, and them, and rightfully so, to be honest with you. Now, I don't condemn the, condone the death threats that they were saying, the developers and all that. They don't deserve that. But yeah, it definitely was broken, and it failing kind of makes sense. Anyways, a lot of people just left the game, and they're like, alright, bye. We don't want to play you anymore, but I'll give you a little update on what's been happening. So the game has almost been out for 2 years now, and just back in February of 2022, so it took over a year, they finally added the Xbox Series X and PS5 editions of the game that actually run pretty well. They run at a constant 60 FPS, and the game actually works. And honestly, I bought the game when it came out, and it didn't work on my PS5 because it was running the PS4 edition, which the console editions of the game ran so bad it was unplayable, so I couldn't even play the game. So I installed the free PS5 update, and needless to say, it actually worked pretty well. With the extra year of development that they had, the game actually runs, and it's actually kind of fun. And I actually ended up playing through it, and it's quite a bit of fun. I enjoy it. So honestly, if you want to pick up Cyberpunk now, I would go for it, because, it's at a reduced price, I'm assuming at this point, I hope. And the game actually works, and I think it's fun. I think it can be fun. It's a lot of story-driven stuff, and since the game works now, it can. Or you can just not buy the game and give CD Projekt Red what they deserve for releasing it early. It's kind of up to you. Now, really, not a lot has happened since it released, except for the constant bug fixes. That's pretty much what their entire development has been post-launch. Is not really adding features, but fixing everything that was broken in the game. So one would assume that would happen, and honestly, as of February of this year, everything for me seems to be running well, and they also updated some textures like the water and stuff. And so honestly, I think everything is good now for a playable game, but there are still a lot of things missing. The dynamic police force that they talked about, that they said would be in the game, still is yet to be there. It's just kind of generic police, and they don't take bribes and stuff that they claimed it could happen, and it's kind of unfortunate for that. They promised a multiplayer DLC at some point post-launch, and I'm pretty sure at this point, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they said that they completely scrapped the multiplayer, obviously to focus on fixing the game. But even though the game is fixed now almost, I don't think they're moving forward with multiplayer, and are just further improving the game and eventually adding DLC later down the line. But I think if you were looking forward to that multiplayer mode, I don't believe it's happening anymore, which is kind of unfortunate. But honestly, I'd rather have a more polished game than a game with more features that doesn't work. As some of you may know, CD Projekt Red is moving forward with The Witcher 4, which is very exciting but also concerning, because I don't want them to butcher it like Cyberpunk, but I think they learned their lesson, because I'm pretty sure their profits went through the floor after Cyberpunk came out, so hopefully they listen this time. Pretty much what happened is CD Projekt Red got their butts kicked, and they're financially not doing good, like at all. And I could say well deserved, but I feel like their punishment has come really far. So, you know, hopefully things look up for them in the future. But honestly, at this point, even for those people that were really enthusiastic about Cyberpunk, including myself, I think it's just time to move on. I think the game is dead in the water, and no matter what they release or what they do, nobody's gonna be playing it anymore. The whole reason I'm making this video is because all these things happened. Next gen came out, all these bug fixes, but nobody knows about them because nobody cares anymore. And so I just figured I would come in and give a little update on that. And so with The Witcher 4 moving forward, people are gonna be hyped for that because The Witcher 3 has been out as long as, like, I don't know, Skyrim and GTA 5. It's been forever, so it'll be nice to have something new and different. And I'm sure they learned their lesson, and hopefully they'll become financially stable so they can actually afford to make these games. But yeah, I don't know. It's crazy to me how they messed up a game so badly, but I also think it's part of the community's fault for trying to make them rush it out the door. If you want to pick up Cyberpunk, it's available on Steam, on your PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X/S, and Xbox One. And honestly, if you're playing on last gen like PS4 and Xbox One, I would not really recommend the game because even though the game has been bug fixed and stuff, it's not really optimized for those consoles still, and runs pretty poorly. So I'd recommend either playing it on PC if your hardware can handle it, and definitely Series X or PS5 if you happen to have a next gen console, because those games, it runs really well on next gen. Because I think it was built for next gen and it was kind of forced on last gen and didn't really work out too well. So I think if you want to play this game, the best possible experience is to play on next gen or PC. Anyways, I'm hopeful for the future of CD Projekt Red and the games they release. Now, I personally, I know I'm going to get like crucified for this, but I've never played any of the Witcher games, and I know people say they're so good, or at least the third one is, and I'll probably check it out one time if I actually have the time to play through them. But hopefully The Witcher 4 and the future of what they are doing works out really well, because I know they make really good games. I haven't played a lot of them, but I know the games they make are really well praised, highly praised, and just well made. And so I think Cyberpunk was just really a misstep, and I think they'll correct their way in the future. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, if you could like, or you can like if you want to, I don't really care. But if you could subscribe, that would be cool. Those of you who don't know, I have one video that blew up, my GTA video. I guess I'm like the GTA guy now, but here, I'll just show you now. 99.6% of my viewers, as of recording this, are not subscribed. Only 0.4% are, which is like mind-boggling and crazy to me. So honestly, if you guys could, I would really appreciate it. Get that ratio a little more even than like is super skewed. That would be pretty cool. I know people just came to watch that video. They didn't watch it for me. They just watched it for the info and stuff and then kind of bounced. So for you who stuck around and actually subbed, I really appreciate you guys. And hopefully we can get on a road to 1,000 subs. That'd be super cool. Anyways, I have nothing else to add to this video. So yeah, that's about it. See ya.